Okay, so the genuine question was asked, why do black and indigenous women get a pass? In a sense, why is it all men until it's no men, or all white people until it's no white people, and not just all people until it's no people? Why don't we just conclude that none of us are safe? Why would I choose a bear over a white woman, or a bear over a white man, or even a bear over a black man, a group that I'm a part of, but I would choose black and indigenous women over the bear? To answer this question, you have to first understand the original bear versus man argument, which, though it may seem like a sweeping generalization, is actually calling out some very specific things. Bears don't SA women. Bears don't sex traffic women. You will not find bear activity anywhere on the grape culture pyramid. Bears do not normalize violence against women. Men do. And ironically still are, by arguing against the bear versus man argument. Furthermore, those behaviors are not baked into the identity of the bear. The bear is not out here stalking women trying to prove its bearhood. The bear is trying to get some fish. It is not in the bear's nature to harm humans. So if you do get unalived by a bear, it's by happenstance. Now, only if you understand the original argument will you be able to follow me where I go next. Because the bear versus man argument is attempting to highlight systemic issues that affect the lives of women. And when White Women Whisperer injected white women into this discussion, she was not really highlighting those behaviors at all. She was highlighting a totally different list of behaviors. When I said I would choose a bear over a white woman, I am not referencing the grape culture pyramid. I'm referencing the white supremacy pyramid. Bears do not weaponize their tears. Bears do not weaponize police departments. Female bears are not the members of the Daughters of Confederacy. Female bears do not infiltrate PTA groups and try to get books on Black history banned. Female bears do not create voting blocks that vote against their own damn interests because bears are more racist than they are feminist. And again, that is not a critique against an individual white woman that I know. It is the identity that they are plugged into by via their connection to whiteness. Right? Because bears did not colonize the globe. Bears did not form armies and carve up Africa and create the transatlantic slave trade. I've never known a bear to own a plantation. I've never known a bear to break a treaty or have a picnic complete with a lynched human being. That is not me critiquing an individual white man's personal character. That is me critiquing the white male identity. Historically. So when a woman sees a random man in the woods, or I see a random white woman in the woods, or a random white male in the woods, they have and I have reams of historical and social data to make the inference that they are not safe based on the historical behavior of that people group towards them. Evidence that you can find in the laws of this country. Evidence that you can find in the religions that are practiced in this country. But when I look at the black woman identity, there is no privilege that she possesses as a woman to leverage against me. And there is no privilege that she has as a black person to leverage against me. And contrary to what Kevin Samuels would have you think, contrary to what Kevin Samuels would have you believe, sign language, that is shame tactics, insults, guilt trips, and the need to be right is something that men speak far more than women. The patriarchy was built with bricks of shame and guilt, slathered with the quick-to-dry concrete of deflection, distraction, and denial. I say that all to say, all things being equal, when a man tells me that he's afraid of women in general, I don't believe you. Men do not go to bathrooms in groups seeking temporary shelter from the piercing gaze of women. On average, men do not give women fake phone numbers for fear for their safety. Helicopter moms do not over-police what young men wear out of concern that they might gather the unwanted attention of a woman. In fact, on the rarest occasion that we as men stop posturing amongst ourselves and pretending that we're invincible, it is typically in rebuttal to a woman's statement about how we hurt them. That's when the series of disingenuous questions begin, like, where are all the domestic violence shelters for men? What about the men that get essayed and sexually harassed and have to quit their jobs to preserve their sense of purity and moral dignity? That's when, for 35 seconds, we stop dapping up the boys who got hastily taken down by an older woman so we can paint women as malicious, wily cougars in our defense. I don't buy it. Not to knock anything that anyone has gone through as an individual, but as a group, men are not afraid of women. If they were, they would treat women better. If they were, they would handle women with respect. But not only are men not afraid of women, we as a group feel entitled to women. We behave as if we own women or as if they owe us something. Also, men don't really care about other men like that. If we did, we would have long since normalized men going to therapy. We would have normalized men sharing their feelings with other men and being vulnerable every now and then so that when you do get a woman who is airing her legitimate grievances, you don't start gaslighting her because she's taking you beyond your emotional threshold. There are only a few things that come up again and again as ways that black women systemically harm the male of the species. And this is part 2 of why I would choose black and indigenous women over the bear. So number 1 is abortion. Men love to bring up abortion as a method that women systemically harm men. But upon further examination, you will always find that it takes 2 to tango, that a woman's right to choose comes down to 2 things: her ability to determine the welfare of her own body and her ability to create a sustainable environment for child rearing. And yes, that includes having a desirable co-parent. And instead of men coming together and working to foster an environment that is conducive for life, community infrastructure, functioning schools, a working healthcare system, men instead would rather pass laws that help them control women, police their bodies, and force them to have babies. And at the end of the day, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice, a woman having an abortion doesn't pose a threat to you because you've already been born. The second thing that I'm hearing more often is that women abuse children more, which again, being that you're already a grown man, doesn't pose an immediate threat to you. And if women are raising the children more and are in closer proximity to the children, it would logically follow that any charges of negligence would also increase. Then you get into women weaponizing the state, child support court, custody battles, false police reports. But how do you effectively, systemically weaponize a system that is also put in place to unalive you? Because there are black women who are lost to the prison industrial complex too. There are black women who get unalived wrongfully by police too. When black women attempt to use social services, they don't get treated well. When black women go to the hospital for illness or pregnancy, they have a greater chance of not coming out of that hospital alive. Keep it a stat. The worst black women could do as a group to black men is A, try their very best to function in the society as a white woman, which I will go out on a limb and say will cause massive psychological and spiritual damage because many white women don't like functioning as white women. And B, just stop bending over backwards to help us. I asked black women a similar question. In an office room by yourself, would you feel safer with a black man or a white man? And the answers I received and the stories behind those answers were heartbreaking. You want to talk about Willie Lynch? Willie Lynch ain't got nothing on Papa Patriarchy. Big Daddy Patriarchy right now has black men fighting for space on his lap. So much so that you don't even notice that you embrace the values, the traditions, the stereotypes, the sexism, the misogyny of what was classically a white male institution to the extent that you are now the face of it. And I wonder if we could do a magical head count, a proportional hand raise of white males divesting from patriarchy because they see it's harmful, and black males divesting from patriarchy because they recognize it for what it is.